Hi, I'm Mary Kopczynski, the CEO of Regulator. Welcome to this week's Regulatory Roundup. The regulator of the week is the SEC. The Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs released the SEC Spring 2021 Unified Agenda of Regulatory and Deregulatory Actions. And the report includes plans for new rules on third-party service providers, gamification, and fraud rules for security-based swaps. The plan calls for continued shaping of proposed rules like climate change disclosure rules and the corporate board diversity rule. But some dissenting commissioners are very upset about what is not on the list, including my fave, Hester Pierce, who's super annoyed that the clarity for digital assets and the rules for gig workers that would allow them to have equity is not on the list. She's also irritated that a bunch of big changes that came out last year are now up for renegotiation because, while, it was under the Trump administration and everyone's sort of questioning what happened in those last 4 years, but in the case of proxy voting and the definition of accredited investor, she argues that they went through a lot of public comments and settled on rules that the industry really agreed was a nice balance between protecting investors and creating a free market. So it is what it is. The topic of the week is CBDCs. I'm going to struggle with that one. Central bank digital currencies. Anyway, it's all the rage. It's an acronym I learned about a few weeks ago, and now it is literally everywhere. First of all, a monster set of European players announced an experiment using wholesale central bank digital currencies for cross-border settlement. This includes the Swiss National Bank, the Bank of France, and the Bank of International Settlements. They have an innovation hub. And they're also cooperating with a private sector consortium that is led by Accenture, and it includes Credit Suisse, Natixis, R3, Six Digital Exchange, and UBS. So this is happening. Also this week, there was a hearing in the U.S. Senate. It was interesting because I really haven't seen a clear side around crypto in terms of the political parties. But during the hearing, Senator Warren basically crapped on crypto, calling it a lousy way to buy and sell things, a lousy investment, and a haven for illegal activity. Senator Sherrod Brown, another bleeding heart liberal, said that CBDCs and the digitization of payments could help poorer Americans become a part of the financial system. And also, he pushed that it's important that we compete with these other countries that are doing this. But then Pat Toomey, the Republican, said we should encourage the development of private digital currencies while remaining hesitant about central bank digital currency. And this week, unrelated to the hearing, Pat Toomey also wrote a letter to Treasury urging it to reconsider a recent crypto proposal by FinCEN that had to do with oversight of cryptocurrencies. He's worried that the transparency requirements are going to cause bad actors to go further underground and avoid using financial institutions altogether. So I guess the Republicans want crypto to stay private and Democrats want it to become public, except they don't, so it's clear as mud. In other news, the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision issued a public proposal for the prudential treatment of banks' crypto asset exposures. Finally, in state news, the Texas Department of Banking has now officially allows Texas state chartered banks to provide custody services for virtual currency. That's it this week for Regalytics US Alerts. Join me every week on Wednesday on LinkedIn and YouTube.